Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to MTGO Traders. My name is Tyrant, and let's talk about Selesnya Hexproof in Guilds of Ravnica Standard. Moving right along here to the new deck layout, kind of a different layout for us, kind of the old, little bit of the old, little bit of the new. Right below me here we have is the full deck list, so if you want to see that there, it's right there. The deck list will also be the first link in the description as well. But let's talk about our creatures here. We have a lot of them in total, 28 in total. 4 Llanowar Elves, 4 Druid of the Cow, 4 Knight of Grace, and 4 Thorn Lieutenant are our turn 1, turn 2 plays. Llanowar Elves and Druid of the Cow being great ways for us to get out our turn 3 plays, which is Shalai or Mare, and of course our turn 5 plays, which is Carnage Tyrant. Knight of Grace being pretty good for us as far as getting around a lot of stuff like Assassin's Trophy right now in the format, as well as just being a great 2/2 first striker, can definitely be a 3/2 first striker as well. And Thorn Lieutenant, if opponent does have removal like in the Is It Drake's list, we still get a 1/1 blocker out of it either way, which is not bad considering, you know, they have stuff like Goblin Electromancer, that kind of stuff as well. Now, of course, it doesn't block the Drakes, but we still have a card to attack in, which is nice. Going up to the top end of our deck list, we have 4 Shalai, 4 Mare, and 4 Carnage Tyrant. Yes, we have 4 Shalai, Voice of Plenty. They are a legendary creature here, but very, very good for us because it gives all of our lesser creatures protection for the rest of the game as long as Shalai is on the battlefield. So very good for us there. Mare and Carnage Tyrant, again, being hexproof, this is Selesnya Hexproof. Very good at being able to dodge stuff. And, you know, when you have Shalai on the battlefield, then you have Mare or Carnage Tyrant, you can't be Settle the Wreckage. You have to be, you know, either Cleansing Novid, which is like the only answer right now to our board state, or maybe 2 Deafening Clarions from Carnage Tyrant and Mare. So either way, we still have a lot of good ways to get around an opponent and get in a ton of damage. Mare being one of the better ones because it can't be blocked by black creatures, which if you're up against Golgari mid-range, you're probably just going to get in for free hits every single turn until they're dead. And for Carnage Tyrant, we have Trample on that as well, so you're going to get in a lot of damage with that too. More often than not, your opponent will likely want to trade a Drake for a Carnage Tyrant or a Arclight Phoenix for a Carnage Tyrant if they can. And with Shalai, Voice of Plenty, since this is a Selesnya list, we can use a secondary ability and make all of our smaller creatures larger. One of the better things too with Thorn Lieutenant is we can dump 6 mana into it, giving it +4/+4, making it a 6/7, so making it very powerful as well, being able to attack out with the best of them, just like Carnage Tyrant and Mare. So all of our creatures are doing something super impactful to the board state. They're either ramping us into Mare or Shalai, or they're kind of closing out the game with Mare and Carnage Tyrant, and Shalai, of course, protecting our board state from you know, spot removal, which is good. So let's move on to some more of our spells here. We've got Savage Stomp, Flower to Flourish, and Conclave Tribunal. So Savage Stomp is here for us because it's a great way to kind of deal with removal or have removal for our board state. Since we have Carnage Tyrant and things like that, this could just be a 1 mana spell. More often than not, it's going to be a 3 mana spell though, but it puts a +1/+1 counter on something, which is quite good, especially for our Thorn Lieutenant, making it a 2/3 into a 3/4. That's incredibly important, especially in the Golgari mid-range matchups, but we can also fight something and get rid of something on their side of the field. Flower to Flourish is here for us to kind of ramp a little bit, but also in the mid to late game, we just go +2/+2 on our entire board state and just swing in for the win. Very good. And Conclave Tribunal, of course, is here for good removal against most matchups, especially the Jeskai control list where they have Teferi or they have some sort of enchantment on the battlefield like Dawn of Hope. We don't want those happening, so we're going to use Conclave Tribunal, get rid of that, or if they have Ixalan's Binding on something on our side of the field, we're going to try and get rid of that as well. Like if they Ixalan's Binding our Shalai, we want to make sure that we have Shalai back on our side of the field thanks to Conclave Tribunal. Moving on to our land base here, we have 9 Forest, 6 Plains, 4 Sunpetal Grove, and 4 Timble Garden. Since, of course, this is Selesnya and this is Guilds of Ravnica, we've got all the nice lands that we need. We could put in maybe 1 Detection Tower if we really needed to for spot removal against a more mirror match setup, against another Carnage Tyrant or something like that, but you don't really have to do that. This deck doesn't really hinge on that because we have so much power on the upper deck for our creatures. We don't really need a Detection Tower necessarily. So could also do with a Field of Ruin as well if the opponent is going more control heavy with like an Azcanta or something like that, but I do think the land base is relatively easy and straightforward for the deck list. Moving on to the sideboard for us, we've got kind of a smattering of protection here. 2 Shaper Sanctuary, 2 Seal Away, 3 Tocatli Honor Guard, 3 Deathgorge Scavenger, 3 Thrashing Brontodon, and 2 Ixalan's Binding. So Shaper Sanctuary, you might say this might not be that great in the sideboard for us, but keep in mind, most of our creatures do not have hexproof. The Mare, Shalai, it gives temporary hexproof, and Carnage Tyrant has hexproof. So we only have like a handful of creatures that give hexproof. So having Saber's Sanctuary on turn 1 and then playing a Landwar Elf and Druid of the Cow really means that if an opponent starts to remove our rampers, we just get card advantage, and that's very, very good in the early game for us, especially good against the Drake lists and good against the Golgari mid-range lists. Seal Away here is very good against Lyrid Dawnbringers, very good against anything else our opponent has that we don't want kind of tapping out towards us. So very good for that. Not good against the History Finale decks and the Night deck, so do keep that in mind, so don't board in Seal Away for that. Tocatli Honor Guard is here for Golgari midrange, is here for a lot of the mono red stuff where they enter in the battlefield doing 2 points of damage like Vishino Pyromancer or a Goblin Chain Whirler, something like that. Tocatli Honor Guard is great for that, especially being a 1/3, being able to dodge a shock, so good for that. Deathgorge Scavenger is here for the Golgari midrange and the Is It Drake's list, being able to exile an Arclight Phoenix or exile a Golgari Finebroker or whatever from the graveyard, Ravenous Chupacabra, you name it. Deathgorge Scavenger can definitely get it, as well as give you some passive life gain too. That's pretty nice. And Thrashing Brontodon is here for some nice enchantment and artifact hate, as well as just being a 3/4 body for 3 as well, so that's pretty good. You might replace this over a Thorn Lieutenant or maybe a Knight of Grace. It really depends on how you want to pitch that meta on your deck list there. And the last 2 cards in the sideboard for us are Ixalan's Binding, just in case you need to get rid of something and you don't want them to replay it. Ixalan's Binding is here for you. This is really good, especially against the Is It Drake's list, because they usually don't have any kind of game 2 like negates or spell pierce, so if you Ixalan's Binding a Crackling Drake, they probably won't be able to get it back, and that really sucks for them, but not for us. We have a great board state going forward for the rest of that match. It's probably going to result into a GG. But that is the full deck list, guys. If you're wanting to build this on MTGO, it's coming to about 35 tickets, and if you're wanting to build this in paper, it's coming to about 229 bucks. And if you're wanting to build this on Arena, it's going to take you quite a bit of time because there's quite a few rares in this deck list here. There's 3, 6, 7, 8 right here just in the sideboard alone, and of course there's 8 in the land base, so it's going to take quite a bit of time for you to kind of ramp up for Arena for those rares. But either way, really fun deck list. So let's get into some matches here and see how this deck performs. All right, let's get into some standard Smackdown with Selesnya Hexproof, and this is actually brought to you by MTG Arena for this interesting little first time on the channel. So we are an MTGO traders. We do most of our stuff through Magic Online, so just wanted to show off Magic Arena for the first time on the channel, just to kind of show off this deck list. Spoiler alert, this deck list was kind of difficult to build on the site or on Arena because of how many rares are just in the land base, of course, and in the actual deck itself. So that's a little bit of an annoyance, and gonna have to get used to that if I want to do more Arena content. So yeah, Druid of the Cow for us, and then we're just gonna go with a pass turn here. But yeah, I mean, you can't buy singles on Arena, you can't do anything like that, so just annoying. So Adventurous Impulse here. Gonna grab a Thorn Lieutenant, and they're going to play that out and pass turn. Gonna go with the Plains here, and probably go for Vine Mare. We could go for another Druid here if you want to be careful. I think we want to go for the Vine Mare here. Let's just go Vine Mare and then pass turn here. They keep updating the UI on me too, so new interesting on the little UI things there. Sarkhan coming in now, very nice. Do love me some Sarkhan. This could be like a maybe a dragon list or something, or maybe just a red-green dragons. Gonna go with a Vine Mare here. Let's go with the land drop. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. We could go for a Carnage Tyrant if you want to, or a Vine Mare. Either way, we pretty much have this in the bag. So let's go Carnage Tyrant here. There we go. Show off that animation. Let's get in for a Vine Mare. Let's just go directly. They're gonna block with a Landwar Elf. They could have double blocked there, and Vine Mare would have died, but they didn't want to lose their board presence, especially because of Carnage Tyrant. Adventurous Impulse from the opponent here. Demanding Dragon is the card they showed. They could definitely try for that, but they don't have a land, I'm assuming, so they won't be able to do anything. Keep in mind, these are best of 1. These are not matches, so won't be able to get a 2 out of 3 on these recordings here, so let me know how you guys feel about that in the comments down below, of course. Just showing out all the fancy stuff on the MTG Arena. Lava Coil, hitting that, exiling it, and they're going to scoop it up. Can't deal against that Carnage Tyrant there. Again, Hexproof is super real, and Lava Coil does nothing against that, so That's one of the things that makes Lava Coil kind of useless. So, all right, opening hand, got 2 lands. Llanowar Elf, that's a perfect keep for us. Vine Mare on turn 3, we can get out into the land from our hand. Mountain from the opponent. We exchange pleasantries. Shock on the... Ooh, Llanowar Elf there. This could be a mono red deck. Let's go Thorn Lieutenant here, get out a 2/3 and pass. Let's see what opponent is up to here. Sulfur Falls, so this is probably an Is It Drake's list. Chart of Course, this is definitely an Is It Drake's list. Forest. Let's go Temple Garden here. Let's go that tapped and maybe go for a Knight of Grace post-combat. Sounds good. It does have protection from black, but opponent is on Is It Drake, so a Shock or Lightning Strike or Lava Coil will handle that Knight of Grace pretty easily. At least with the Thorn Lieutenant, we have a way to kind of have an attacker afterwards, but yeah, Shock or Knight of Grace, that's to be expected. We will have a Vine Mare coming in, though, next turn, so that's nice. Opt from the opponent here. Scry, 1 to top, 0 to bottom. Drawing into a land for us, very cool. Let's go for an attack for 2 here, and just play out Vine Mare. Now keep in mind, this is best of 1, so they may have some Essence Scatters in their main board, since Arena meta is a little different than from regular Standard. Drowned Catacombs from the opponent, that's interesting. Okay, so this is actually Grixis and not Jeskai, or not Jeskai, not Is It. Thought Erasure from the opponent here. This could just be like maybe Jeskai control. Thought Erasure is definitely going to get rid of the Carnage Tyrant, which is really sad for us, but yeah. Four cards in hand from the opponent. Maybe a pass turn here. We have huge threats on the battlefield. Chart of Course from the opponent, trying to draw into some more value. Let's see what they discard here. Discarding a Beacon Bolt. Very good against Thorn Lieutenant. Not very good against Vine Mare, though, of course, because Vine Mare is hexproof. Let's get in for 7. We'll be playing that Plains because we want to make sure the Thorn Lieutenant gets the +4/+4 next turn, unless they go Beacon Bolt onto Thorn Lieutenant. Land drop here. Gonna go Crackling Drake from the opponent. And luckily for us, we have Conclave Tribunal, so they only have 1 mana up here. Oh, there we go, Plains. Let's go Conclave Tribunal here. Just grab that Crackling Drake and get rid of it, and then just crack in for 7. Very nice. Down to 2 here. Let's see what they get. They could go into, let's see, a Arclight Phoenix maybe and something else. Four cards in hand. We have no cards in hand, so they could go maybe Arclight Phoenix or Crackling Drake. Let's see. They have enough for maybe 3 spells. Very close. They can definitely Beacon Bolt our Thorn Lieutenant, but they can't go to the Vine Mare, so they have to have a blocker in the way of that. So if they have a Lava Coil and a Drake or something, they can definitely block for this turn. We'll see, though. Lava Coil for Thorn Lieutenant, that's smart. There we go. We still get a 1/1 out of that, thanks to Thorn Lieutenant's abilities, so we still have an attacker there. So if they do have a way to block the Vine Mare, we still have a 1 point of damage coming in next turn. We'll just see how the play goes out, though. They have 4 mana up here. They're thinking about it pretty hard. Yeah, Beacon Bolt stopping the 1/1, not really worth it. If they had a Shock, maybe. Discovery there, okay. Surveil for 2, then draw a card. So they're probably trying to get for a get into an Arclight Phoenix, throw it to the graveyard, and then cast something else. Because if they cast another instant or sorcery spell, or another just spell in general, but instant and sorcery spell is what triggers the Arclight Phoenix. They're going to try and get into that. They had a timeout used. Discovery again, so they're tapped out. They're completely reliant on that Arclight Phoenix play. Ooh, do they get it? They didn't get it. Poor opponent. So we just crack in, and that's it. Nice. Opponent scooping it up there. All right, let's get into match number 3 here. I guess we should call these game number 3 instead of match number 3, because these are technically not games. These are just, or matches, these are just games. Opening hand is not bad. Let's go with a keep here. Always happy to see a land with a Llanowar Elf. Going Temple Garden, paying 2, going Llanowar Elf pass. Gonna go Forest. Druid of the Cal is a good hit for us. Let's go Sun Petal Grove. I want to go probably Druid or Thorn Lieutenant. We could probably go Thorn Lieutenant here if we want to be aggressive, but Druid of the Cal is also pretty good because it could guarantee a Vine Mare if we draw into that. Or a Conclave Tribunal, even though Conclave Tribunal can be used even with a Thorn Lieutenant thanks to the Convoke ability. Hit a land off the top, not bad. Opponent just hit another land drop and passed. Let's go with the Thorn Lieutenant here. And of course I'm playing stuff pre-combat, which you shouldn't do, but you know, whatever. Let's go with 2 Thorn Lieutenants here and just get in for 1. That seems good. We're very susceptible to a board wipe right now, but opponent looks like they're just on mono green. We'll see what happens though. Steel Leaf Champion. Ooh, big hit for the opponent on turn 3. We have Savage Stomp, which we can't really use against the Steel Leaf Champion. So I think we want to go Conclave Tribunal on the Steel Leaf Champion, just getting rid of it. Probably tapping out our Druid of the Cal or Llanowar Elf here. It is strange that the Conclave Tribunal like selects the Thorn Lieutenant when we know we want to use a Llanowar Elf. But let's get rid of the captain here. Our champion, not captain, the champion, and get in for 5. All right. 7 cards, having a 4th land here. I just noticed our opponent's name, Man of Change. That's right. Ranging Raptors from the opponent. Not bad of a play for them because they can, again, continue to ramp into larger threats. Savage Stomp against a Thorn Lieutenant. We do get a 1/1 out of that, and of course the Ranging Raptor gets a counter, and they also get a land out of that as well. Not bad. Land for us. We do have enough for a Thorn Lieutenant pump here. So let's go with an attack. Let's see if opponent wants to block that. They do not. So we're just going to go with the pump here on the Thorn Lieutenant. Make it a 6/7. Get in for 6. Down to 7. Pass turn. Opponent is drawing into their 5th card in their hand, laying their 6th mana. Alright, so show me the Carnage Tyrant, because it looks like you might have it. Oh, another Savage Stomp. Ouch. We do get another 1/1 for our trouble there. They do get another land. Savage Stomp being used a lot more than I thought it would be. But still very good. Thrashing Brontodon for the opponent there. Board state is kind of pitching into their favor here. We still have enough mana for a big threat, so let's Sun Petal Grove is fine. I think we want to just play out the Thorn Lieutenant here and pass turn. We don't have enough to pump it this turn. Yeah, we don't want to Savage Stomp either. Just hold for a turn, I suppose. We have plenty of life, so let's just pass turn here and wait. Gotta be patient for a Shalai, a Vine Mare, or a Carnage Tyrant. Those are the 3 hits we want on the top deck here. Ooh, Colossal Majesty here. All right. This looks like maybe just a mono green stompy deck. Very nice. I do think I'm going to try and build a mono green Explore deck. Carnage Tyrant, there we go. I think we just go for that. And then we can definitely Savage Stomp this turn as well. Getting rid of the Raptor or the Brontodon. Probably better to get rid of the Brontodon because of the Conclave Tribunal capturing that champion there. They do have enough mana to, in response, get rid of it though. I think I'm going to pass a turn and just wait. Thrashing Brontodon here. Land drop into a Llanowar Elf. Nice big board state. Again, opponent can use, there's a Tribunal there, very nice. Let's go Savage Stomp. Let's maybe get rid of a Raptor. I think we want to get rid of the Raptor here. They still get a land out of it, but they don't have any cards in hand, so we don't have to worry about that really. We do get rid of their biggest creature though. Oh, opponent scooping it up. Nice. And those were the matches for Selesnya Hexproof. So I tried out with Arena this time, just doing like a, best of one, just kind of seeing how you guys like it. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. I probably won't be doing Arena much for the channel, as this is MTGO Traders, but maybe for standard, kind of bouncing in and out of Arena, and for Modern, Pauper, all that other stuff, let's do MTGO for sure. But that's gonna do for this video, guys. I love you all. Like the video if you like it, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next video. And of course, Ravnica Allegiance previews and leaks and information, all that kind of stuff is coming out every single day this week, so make sure you keep in mind for that as well. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.